Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and this time we're going to look at a game called 19XX, The War Against Destiny, and this was created by Capcom in 1996, and it's another sequel in the 1942 series. The title of the games kept changing their number or the dates, and this one is just simply called 19XX, The War Against Destiny, but this is another game in the popular shoot-'em-up series that started with 1942 back in 1984, and then went to 1943 and 1987, which was actually 1943, the Battle of Midway, and then 1941 in 1990, which was called 1941 Counterattack, and then this, 19XX, The War Against Destiny in 1996. And I will soon be doing a video of the final game in the series, which is called 1944 The Loop Master, released in 2000. Or at least that's the arcade series. But some differences in this that were not in other 1940 whatever games. You now have a charged bomb instead of just a charged shot. And for the charged bomb, you just hold down the bomb button and it will build up a meter, and you can build it up 3 full times. You can use just your regular bomb by tapping it, and then you have the 3 fully charged shots. So you have a total of 4 different types of bombs, and of course the longer you hold the button down, the stronger your bomb is going to be. And you can choose from 3 different planes. There is the Sinden, there is the Lightning, and there is the Mosquito. And some have mild advantages over others. One might be faster, one might have stronger shots, whatever. We'll look at all 3 ships and their capabilities later on. Or we'll look at them using their different shots. There will be weapon power-ups released by some enemies. And one of them will be a laser. One of them will be like a kind of a spread shot, or one with missiles. And then there will be one with a multi-shot. And we will get started here. I will start with the Lightning. Later on I'll look at the Sinden, and then later on I'll look at the Mosquito. And there will be sometimes a group of the familiar red fighters. There's the missile shot. Sometimes enemies will release medals. Those medals are worth extra points, and they'll be counted up at the end of a boss fight at the end of the level. And here is the first boss. Pretty easy. On occasion, the bosses, and maybe some of the regular enemies, will release shots that you can destroy in midair. And depending on how quickly you beat the boss, you might also get a bonus. Various other bonuses will be added up at the end of the level, and you'll get badges or a rank added. And there's the first boss. Incredibly easy. Mission completed, and that was the Yakko Special. There are I think 7 stages in the game, and there you also get badges for good accuracy, or your ranking increased. And then we move on to a different primary target. And this one's in the Middle East. Raime. And yeah, some enemies or a formation of red fighters can give you a rotating power-up that can be a laser, missile, multi-shot, or a bomb. And again, the bomb can be charged. Instead of just tapping the button to release it, you can just hold it down and a meter will fill up multiple times. We will look at that later. Here is my multi-shot. You can upgrade the weapons like I think 2 more times after you pick them up. And then after that, when you collect that same icon, you'll just get points. But I think the more that you collect that same icon in a row, perhaps you will get more points. And they can really increase quickly. And again, some enemies will just drop a multitude of medals that you can collect and get bonuses for at the end of a level after you've beaten the boss. A number of tanks. If you come across tanks, a number of tanks will be releasing those medals. So if you're medal hungry, go after the tanks, and some of those medals will be really big and they'll be worth a heck of a lot more. But yeah, just a regular charged shot can release a big missile that will hit the enemy, and then after that, for a very short time, you'll fire a bunch of homing missiles. This game was suggested by YouTube user Sonic Ace 24, and they also suggested what was it, 1945, was it? The Loop Master? But we'll, maybe it was 1944, the Loop Master. At any rate, we'll get to that one a little bit later. I hope you are enjoying your weekend. I spent it doing pretty much nothing. I wanted to do my taxes, but that's always a pain in the butt, so I decided to make a video instead. Use a weak bomb there. I didn't early on when I was playing this for the video, I didn't understand the charged bomb. Later on I figured that out, and I will use that later on in the gameplay in this video. But yeah, for a short time after you use a charged shot, you can fire a bunch of homing missiles. But that's only if it's against an enemy that takes longer to bring down. The regular enemies, if you would... Oh, for God's sake, I died just as I killed him. But on the regular enemies that go down with one shot, if you use just a charged shot against them, then you're not likely to get a bunch of homing missiles in your arsenal, or at least for a short time, right after you destroy it. Only against the stronger enemies, or bosses. And there goes that target, and we move on to another one. Down in Africa. Carbert armor, whatever it said. This, sorry, this came across as kind of scrunched. Some of the Capcom shoot 'em ups get scrunched. The screen size gets narrowed, but I can't really help that. I mean, maybe there is a way, but I don't have the technical know-how to figure out how to do it. But again, many of those tanks will leave those medals you can pick up and get bonus points for after you've beaten the boss. One more. Once in a while you can come across a certain icon that you might uncover on the ground, and when you touch it, you uncover it by shooting. When you touch it, it acts as a smart bomb. Kind of cool. That's the only place I'd noticed it. But yeah, a week from this Monday, I'll have a 3-day weekend. I don't know how many of you get those special holidays off, but I get all of them because I'm a government employee. Lucky me. Oh, there went the lightning. So we're gonna go with the well, I neglected to continue. I put in my initials here. Something else that kind of sucks about some of these videos that, or some of the video that gets scrunched during gameplay and shows up in the resulting video, kind of cuts off the top a little bit while I'm playing. It was hard for me to see the initials as I was cycling through them. Well, I got first place. Almost 500,000, not too bad. Well, they call it level 7 that I left off, but generally that was the 3rd stage. I don't know how they divide the stages up into levels, but we're going to now look at the Sinden. And again, there is the lightning, there's the Sinden, and there's the Mosquito. But yeah, the weapon ups that you can collect, there is a laser, there is a missile, and there is a multi-shot. And when that power up or a weapon up icon floats from destroying certain enemies, you can also collect an extra bomb. And the regular charged shot fires one large shot to the enemy, and if the enemy's stronger than that, if it needs more shots, then extra missiles, homing missiles, will be fired at it. And a charged bomb, before the full charge, a small blast will actually destroy all enemy shots on screen, and it inflicts. There is the full charged bomb. It inflicts a small amount of damage to enemies, and there are a total of 4 different types of bomb blasts. There's just a regular wussy bomb blast if you just tap the bomb button, and then there's the 3 levels of bomb charge when you hold the button down. And here is the boss of was this level 3 or stage 3, although the game decides that it has multiple levels within the stage. We're just gonna zip forward and see me destroy this boss. Mission completed. Carbert armor. Sorry, while I'm looking at this gameplay in the Windows Movie Maker video, it's kind of hard to see the dialogue. But now we're going to move on to the next primary target. Off the coast of South America. Grants, did they call it? And like I said, we'll also look at the Mosquito in a moment. There's the laser. Now this is kind of cool that you get to fly over these ice flows. And here is the Mosquito. From this point on, I just put on invincibility and left it on and just played as the Mosquito. But really, this is an okay shoot 'em up. The one thing I don't like about this is that your plane really isn't terribly fast. And on the later levels, some of the enemy's shots can be very quick. The boss of this level is pretty cool. He's a submarine, but when you destroy him, he flips over and then you have to fight his other side. Kind of interesting. I mean, for 1996, you could do worse. You could do better. Some of my favorite shoot 'em ups of this time. Let's blast him with another ginormous charged bomb. Some of my favorite shoot 'em ups were on the Neo Geo of this time. Like Polestar was pretty awesome. Later on, Blazing Star. Number of good shoot 'em ups on the Neo Geo. And here's his other side when he flips over. And now it's just totally destroyed. Feel bad for the crew that either drowned or got killed from the sub having to turn over like that. Yeah, you can get some pretty nice points in this game. And again, the series went 1942 and 1984, 1943 in 1987. Its full name was 1943 Battle of Midway. And, then 1941 Counterattack was in 1990. 19XX, this game, War Against Destiny in 1996, and 1944, I think it was the Loop Master in 2000. This was suggested by YouTube user Sonic Ace 24. And yeah, I'll do the last game of the series next. But we're gonna skip ahead, and it's kind of cool. There's all these trains below you. And a little bit later, we'll fight a really cool boss. And he's this giant mecha type thing. I think he was comprised of like a giant train. And here we have a giant plane being carried on a train. I don't remember seeing this in the arcades. I was more into the old school arcade games at this point. Really didn't keep up much with the latest stuff. So, shower him with another charged bomb. Really, if you got bombs, just use the full charge. What the hell? You can fire with your regular shot while you're charging. Heck, you can, use a charged regular shot while you're charging up your bomb too. I like the giant shells that you can kind of juggle in the air before they are destroyed. Oh, okay, maybe the mecha guy was the following boss. Sorry to spoil that for you. Mission completed. Sancho Pedro. Yeah, your point totals really start to soar by this time. Moving on to our next primary target. Outer Limits. Do not adjust your television set. Yeah, it wasn't as popular as the Twilight Zone, but it was still a pretty good show. Very similar. The Outer Limits back in the 50s, 60s. And there was also a show that was similar back then called One Step Beyond, I think. Here is the mecha guy. He'll start to stand up on his legs in a little bit. You have to damage him quite a ways. But, yeah, this is 19XX, The War Against Destiny by Capcom in 1996. The fourth game in the 19-whatever shoot-'em-up series, and now he's walking on his legs. Kind of cool looking. And yeah, there's one more game in the series, and I'll have done videos of all those games. The first three games were in my 20 From series of games. 1942 was number 3, I think it was, in my 20 From 1984 series. And we're scooting ahead to see him destroyed. Just for time constraint reasons. It's hard to make it under their time requirements for getting a bonus for destroying the boss in time. 1943 was on my I think number 11 on my 20 From 1987 series, and 1941 was number 19 on my 20 From 1990 series. This didn't make my 96 20 From 1996 series list because it wasn't really that special. I mean, it's a good game, but not remarkable like a number of other games from my 20 From 96 series. Maybe one of these days in the far-flung future I'll decide to do a 20 From the 2000s series, but that's not going to be for a long time. Got a lot of other videos I want to do first. And we're going to see the last boss next. It's got these giant missiles and a giant plane you got to take down. Yeah, the shots really start to make this more like a bullet hell shoot 'em up. So batter him with a full charged bomb blast. He's got his little arms. Yeah, why not? Let's batter him with another one. Will this bring him down? Hope so. Yep. But then we still got those giant missiles to contend with, I guess. And then the final boss. Yep. Oh, we've got this black jet here to take out. We'll scoot ahead. Oh, the missile caps fly off. Stupid black jet again. Sometimes that black jet will give you a bunch of medals when you shoot at it multiple times. And the last boss is a stealth. I've always thought that a stealth looked kind of silly looking. Maybe that's just me. I remember when the stealth was relatively new. We're going to scoot forward. You can take out its wings and it'll still be functional. But we'll scoot forward in just a moment and see me destroy this bastard. Batter it with a full charged bomb. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Well, screw that. Let's just destroy the sucker. Just die. Yeah, that was a weak bomb blast. Should we charge again? Oh, we don't need to. And again, don't forget you can shoot your regular shot or shoot a charged shot while you're charging up your bomb. And after destroying the final boss, you also get a bonus for your lives remaining. I put on infinite bombs by this point too, as well as infinite invincibility. But that was 19XX, The War Against Destiny by Capcom in 1996. Definitely a playable shoot 'em up. Graphics were definitely improved. A lot of things about the game were improved over previous 19 whatever games in the series. But this was the 4th out of 5 games in the series, and my next video will be the last game in the series. 1944, The Loop Master. I used to think it would be funny if they had a game called 1945 or 1946, where the war is over and you teach Japanese kids baseball or something. teach the Japanese school children how to speak English. Because by that point the Americans had won that war and they were occupying Japan. But that is 19XX, The War Against Destiny by Capcom in 1996. And that is the ending. And put in your initials. You don't start all the levels over or anything, or do a second loop. The game will end here. Which is nice. I don't like having being started at the beginning and doing a loop again. I like games to have an ending. And there I am, first place, and I have 24 levels. Or I am at rank 24, whatever. But that was 19XX, The War Against Destiny by Capcom in 1996, suggested by YouTube user SonicAce24. Well, this is Crazy Climber 80 saying thanks for watching 19XX, The War Against Destiny by Capcom in 1996, the 4th game of the 19-whatever series. I'll catch you later with the 5th game in the series. Have a good one, folks. Bye-bye.